Hello all, this is Gatto's Customs LEDs, and I'm here today to give a comparison video between a couple of light kits. Interior ambient lighting to be exact. I figured I get a lot of customers will ask me, well, what's the difference here and there between the two? Why is one price the other, for example? I figured I'd go through a pretty detailed list of what you get in comparison for each. I have two kits to compare to each other today. This kit is a $125 from Amazon. It is called a 6-piece kit, but it comes with a lot compared to some others. So I figured we'll go over this one, and then I'll set up and we'll have the RGB Halo kits to be compared them to. Okay, so this kit's actually pretty interesting. It is a 6-piece LED strip kit. Now you do get 4 average length size and then 1 long one, and then with 1 mini one for the basically EL wiring kind of style of lighting. I have to have this sit here just to keep it flat. Now the interesting thing about this piece kit is it comes with wireless or Bluetooth connectivity for each different control points. So you'll have the main hub with this kit, and then instead of having to run all of these wires for every kit to wherever you need to go, you just have a separate Bluetooth sub-controller. So you have your first and then your secondary. And the good thing is these only require just a 12 volt on constant. So for example, you wire them into your car key accessory on. So when you turn them on, they all come on. Now this kit comes with footwell lighting. You can put these under the dash or wherever the heck you'd want to put them. Interesting one is these are new to me. These are speaker hole ports wiring or lighting. So you'd put them either behind the speaker so it accents the lighting on the back. I don't know what these two are. I'm assuming you could probably have them put behind a switch panel, or let's say your accessory lights on your door panel switches. Maybe you could put these under there so they would all match. So basically each door would get one of these, and you have 4 ports to power each one. So you got 3 here, then the LED strip to go through it. And the good thing is it's just a 12 volt requirement. They give you the accessory adhesive tape, which I'm not sure how good that's really going to work. They feel like they're okay, but this one comes with just a standard function switch, because what this relies mainly on is you're going to be using your phone to control these. And then it also comes with an installation for these. The interesting thing is this tape is actually really good. This blackhead, I'm guessing it's supposed to be 3M. Compared to, let's say, the higher quality, more expensive RGB Halo kits, this actually sits a lot nicer on these systems. So now these do have like a startup sequence that you cannot change. So no matter what, they do have to have, or anytime you pop them on, they'll always have this startup system, which is not my favorite, but it's okay. Get some power. Lighting dispersal is pretty nice. And you have plenty of settings. So if you're using your Bluetooth, you use your phone or whatever other device is, you have your standard colors. Pretty quick response, considering that it's all through Bluetooth, and even all of these are all controlling it. Several different styles to set it to. So quite a bit of different settings, and you can always adjust them. Shoot, seems like the sky's the limit with this one. Now, longevity of the kit, not really sure. I haven't really, this is my first time ever purchasing these kits to test it out. I did purchase them just to test them out. I might install them on my demo car to see how they go, but currently just bench testing. They're pretty decent. You have a ton of switchback devices, functions on it, so you can adjust it You can also adjust the speed at the way they flow, slow it down, speed it up. Let's see. Basic, just magic flow. It does respond to music, so you can, set it to whatever. It'll play off the device here, or I'm assuming you could send it to a microphone, and it will read, what you're saying on your phone, because it's using that as the microphone. So, lots of different functions. You can use your phone mic, and then separate it. You'll have an external device, or I'm assuming if you have an external device. But here it'll play kind of both sounds as you do it. You can even have more control of how it does it, which is pretty interesting. That's the first time I've seen that kind of function for a microphone setting. But yeah, not too bad for a kit that's $129. I would say it's not too bad. Let's see, we'll get a close-up of the lights. So you can see the tape again, really good. Light dispersal is not too bad. This is the brightest setting. It is a little bit of an overcloud rainy day. And, the footwell lighting, speaker cap, whatever you'd want it. Again, I don't know what these are, but they're used for something. And not too bad of a kit, I would say. Let's see. I'll wire up the RGB Halo name brand so you can see what you get for that price. Here we have a Halo RGB kit. These are like their name brand. They're about, this kit particularly is like $340, $335, I believe. There is, it's a little pricey. So I'm going to show you what you get. Okay. So with this kit, they do ship it in a, a standard little United States postal box. It is, cushions, things like that. So it's protected. They give you a nice little sticker, basic instructions for how you're wiring it. Not really too detailed, that's about it. So it would help if you know a little bit about it. Remote control, this one does come with a remote control. And it's also Bluetooth. These are your, I think, is it acrylic strips? Now compared to the other ones, this tape is coming off a little bit compared to name brand. I would say that's a little bit of a downside if you're comparing it to the lesser expensive kit. Now this one does run off of a 12-volt system, and then it goes through a converter to 5 volts. It will go off to the main, kind of similar setup. The only difference is these are not wireless, so you have to have these wired in, and you have to have them send the signal to your whatever you're controlling through the door. So it makes it a little bit more installation time a little bit longer compared to just having a 12-volt positive in the ground. These are your extensions. They give you 5 of them. So assuming you're going to have to go through 4 doors. So 4 of them. Then you have your center console. Hopefully the length that they gave you is enough. And you would possibly use another one for the center console. And then the longer ones for the dash. So that's it. That's what you get for this kit. We're going to turn it on and compare. Now these ones do have a startup sequence. The interesting part is it does have memory, and it's pretty good. So no matter what, when you turn them off and turn them back on, it keeps that sequence. Now they did send me one with a dead cell. They are going to send me a replacement, thankfully. So sometimes, works out like that where you don't have quite everything working all at once. But they're pretty good about, keeping up with their repairs. So this one, it had its standard setting at first, so you can adjust it, put them there. You see the light displacement's a little different compared to the cheaper kit. Not too bad, I would say. Very bright, brighter than the other kit, but I would still say not too bad. You can adjust it, and when you turn it off with the remote, you'll get a turn off sequence. When you turn it back on, same thing, turn off sequence. This one also does run with a RGB Bluetooth adapter on your phone, so you can run it, which you can control it with your phone. You'll have more functions that you can see. But from what I understand, it's the same thing as the remote. I would say it's definitely brighter colors, but downside is, yeah, you do have this tape coming off. Also, when you cut these, you have to cut them exactly where you see these two little connections, these two dots. So if you cut them before, it may send the signal to cut off the next lead. So I believe it goes like every 1, 2, 3, 4. So every 4 sections, you see that's where you would cut to make room. But disappointing that the tape comes off so easily. Now, that being said, the colors are brighter. I'm going to have a comparison between each LED strip in this next section, but you get a lot more to work with this kit compared to the other. You're very limited on the length that you get, so you don't have to play weird. You'd have to buy maybe a couple of extra LED strips so that you could possibly do, let's say, a longer dash. If you have a small car, it wouldn't be a problem, but if you're working on larger vehicles, things like that, it might come into play. So I'm going to set up a strip next to each other and we can compare exactly how they look. Okay, so here we're going to have a comparison of the LED strips by themselves. Since the name brand Halo kit doesn't come with all the other extra stuff, we want to do a real comparison. Now, the Halo name brand, with a larger price tag, has much more nicer wiring, thicker gauge it seems, and they have the really nice braided wire loom up to the plug. Okay, so points to Halo for that. These ones are very flimsy, very small, very thin. Probably could be prone to damaging, but these kind of were just wired to get the job done. So if you wanted to do it, you could probably even swap them out and upgrade yourself. The strip itself, like I said, this one, a little disappointing that the black strip kind of tape comes off compared to the cheaper lesser non-name brand. Seem to have done a better job at keeping the tape on there, which is interesting. But they're the same size. I grabbed the longest one from the cheaper kit and the same size one from the name brand. And you can see, same size, same thickness. This one feels a little more flimsy compared to this side. More stiff, rigid. You feel like you could possibly snap them, the name brand one, a little. I'm not sure how much of an angle you can get on before the light quality changes. These ones seem a little more malleable. So, alright, so this one, again, the name brand gets running through a converter from 12 volt to 5, and this one just goes straight to a 12 volt. Okay, so we're just going to plug these in, and then I'll turn them both on at the same time. We can see a comparison. Okay, so here we have the light strips set up to be powered on. Both of them, I think, still have their standard settings on there. And the top one is going to be the lesser expensive one, and the bottom one is going to be the name brand. So let's see. So you can see the top one running through its sequence, and there, fair assessment. So you can see one side's a little bit more brighter than the other. I'm going to go through and try and set them to the exact same kind of functions. Let's see. Let's put them on the same color. We'll do red. Red. Now the interesting one is this one has a little bit of a sequence in between. It'll fade in between as you go to the colors. As opposed to this one, it'll just immediately change. So standard red fades to red, which is nice. There. And then green. Green. Okay. Now this section here is brighter because the tape's coming off, so you're kind of seeing the LED exactly straight from it. So I want to try and get a more fair comparison. We're just looking at just the indirect. Okay, so both functions, not too bad. I would say the color's somewhat similar. Let's see. Red, I do like that color fade in between as opposed to the quick jump in color, but it is a nice little transition. A little more premium, different what you get. Let's see, let's do a colors function. Something that maybe looks similar, but eh. Maybe there you go. So when it comes to the strips themselves, I like the wiring, the higher quality wiring of the name brand kit. However, when it comes to the light source, and like they're very similar. The tape insulating the LEDs are a little bit better on the cheaper one, which is a little surprising. However, longevity and quality over time, it'll take some time to test that out. But I would say, you're kind of, if you care more about the function and the color fading in between, these ones are just the strips themselves. That's $330 some odd with change and tax. You get 6 of them, all of the same length, and you have more to play with when you're installing it on your car. So if you have long door panels, larger dashboards, bigger length center consoles, you'd probably want to go with these. Or you would need to order these individually from the cheaper place, from Amazon. Cheaper doesn't mean bad. I mean less expensive, more affordable, let's say that. And it will... you'll have to, I would prefer if the more affordable kit came with 5 full-length pieces, or 6 full-length pieces, as opposed to 4 smaller ones, 1 tiny one, and 1 long one. But, not too much of a gripe for 120 some odd bucks. And the interesting, more easier part is these, when you run in through your door panels, you only have 1 control box that you have to wire. And you can have up to 4 leads to that each individual door panel. So it makes wiring these a lot easier. So they just shut off on me on accident and tripped on this light switch. But we're going to turn them both off and turn them on. And you'll see this one will have the exact same memory to it. So it'll still play the same light up sequence. And this one, on the other hand, will just... do the similar to from its own standard startup sequence. And this one has a pop of color for some reason. It pops on first. I'm not a fan of that, but so let's say we'll put this to solid red. Again, this one you're getting that extra bright section from the tape coming off, but they look very, very similar to each other. Turn off. Let's see, key accessory back on. Pop. Sequence starts up automatically. This one has its own little startup sequence for color you have it on, and then this reverts back to its color. So you get goods and bads, pros and cons of each one. Hopefully this will help out with people making their decision. Thanks for watching.